I might as well start at the beginning. My name's Nettie Lee Garrett. And I did this interview to talk about aliens, and I was going to have Tony here for support. My daughter Lisa is here, who also says that she had an experience with aliens. That I have been abducted 40, 50, 60, upwards of 100 times. You'd think that after a while I'd get used to it, but I don't. Each time it gets harder. And now I just wish they'd take me and just throw me out into space and let me wander. Just let me just float off into space. I might as well. I'll never be loved, truly loved, will I? The sad part of it is I have 3 alien babies. I wish they were here with me, because maybe they'd be nicer than my own Earth children. My daughter Lisa is such a disappointment. Oh, and her teeth are horrible. If you see them, they make me sick. Lisa, I don't care if I don't care if that upsets you. I'm upset myself. Did you say that? Did you say? The aliens, they used to want me, just like Tony. Tony said he didn't care if I was fat. In fact, I lost 15 pounds for that man. 15 pounds! Well, I'm just going to go right upstairs and have some Haagen-Dazs. That's about what I'm going to do. I know I will. Where do I start? Where's the beginning? Let's go back to the beginning of time, because I'm almost 60 years old. I don't have the money anymore for a facelift because I spent it on this room. I redecorated. I had everything he wanted. I got him new stereo equipment because he maybe started a band. He wanted me to be the lead singer. I thought, 60 years old, why not? I deserve a little happiness. I've been poked and prodded in every orifice of my body. I have been humiliated, absolutely humiliated. I was 57 years old, and I was pregnant with my 4th alien baby. Well, I aborted that thing so quick, your head would have spun. Do you blame me? Do you blame me? After all this business with aliens and ex-husbands and ungrateful children, you know, I thought maybe my life could start over again. But no, not for Nettie. Not for Nettie. No way. Forget it, Nettie. Don't try to be happy. Don't even try to be happy. I wouldn't wish my life on a dog. I mean it. I would not wish my life on a dog. And in fact, they did take my dog. The aliens. They took my dog too. I had a beautiful little Shih Tzu, and they took it. God almighty. 4 years old, I'm abducted by aliens. I used to tell my mother. I used to say, Mommy, there's boogeymen in my closet. There's boogeymen in my closet. She didn't believe me. My own mother, she didn't even believe me. Well, she's dead now. Lisa? Are those my good shoes? This is a $150 pair of shoes. What did you walk in, Lisa? I beg you and I beg you not to wear my clothes and my shoes and my jewelry. But what do? The minute my back is turned, you've got on a $150 pair of shoes. Well, they're ruined. You might as well just take them to the Salvation Army. No, you will not have them. I'll give them to the poor. Somebody will appreciate them. I can't believe it. Oh, Tony, what did you do? Okay. My ex-husband was abducted by an alien.
Christ, you got this thing all nicked up. Damn it. Do you know how to take care of nothing? Your mom didn't take... I guess you've already seen Nettie Lee, or she's going to be on here too. You know, hell, I guess they had got the whole family except my son. They got you, Lisa, didn't they?
They didn't get me, I saw one.
Started in 1958. I was a paint salesman at the time. Coming home from St. Louis, had a big job up there to do. I had to, you know, get the windows. Don't use that on the car. That'll just scratch it. Did you clean that tire?
Yeah.
Lisa, I don't mean to yell, but by God, you know, don't ruin it. It's a piece of shit as it is. Don't make it worse. Clean the windows. I think that's safe enough, or the dash or something. So it's a pretty deserted area. I'm driving along, see that light out there, and I mean, it was a weird looking light, not, you know, bright colors and everything, and I saw an object up in the sky. I went over to investigate. Pulled off the side of the road, and there's kind of a haze out anyway. It was early in the morning, probably 3 or 4 in the morning. Lisa, don't just stand there, please. And I parked and this object just kind of hovered. You know, didn't look like any kind of aircraft I'd ever seen before, and I was over in Korea, so I've seen quite a bit of military stuff, and wasn't anything like that I'd ever seen before. Lisa, did you hit something? We're going out to Disney World, whatever, Disneyland, out in California, Anaheim. Got the 2 kids, Nettie in the front seat, bitching the whole way, so hell, I was glad, you know, to be driving at night, because hell, she'd sack out. I wake up, it's a day later. We're in California. The car's just out there in the middle of this crater thing, like out in the desert, you know, out by Death Valley. I just told Nettie how I'd fallen asleep and pulled over and parked, but that ain't the case. Years pass, and Nettie and I have Lisa, and kids start growing up. You raise a family, and you don't got time. You don't even know if you're coming or going, or, you know, if I had one of those experiences, you know, where time was gone, I just didn't think about it. Didn't have time. I'm getting that funniest feeling again, and I see those lights. Pulled over side of the road, and next thing you know, it's 2 hours later. I didn't know what to make of it. You know, I mean, I looked at my clock right when I pulled over, because I'm always checking the time, because hell, about all a man has is time. Not much of it. I'm getting sick as a dog, vomiting every night, wake up with these sweats, and can't sleep a wink. I'm not used to sleeping much, but hell, you know, I'd go 5, 6 nights, 7 nights, 2 weeks sometimes, without not one, nothing. No sleep. So, you know, I was getting pretty irritable, I guess. Lisa, Jesus Christ, wiping the corner there. I guess I was getting kind of crabby, you know, and Kathy was getting tired of it. I finally went to the doctor. Hell, he told me something I already knew, that I had high blood pressure. But who wouldn't, with ex-wife and kids I've got. Had another one of them time lapses. I couldn't tell you what happened for the next 2 hours. Somebody offered me $2 million cash, tax-free. Well, I was living with Kathy, and we're not living together anymore. One reason I left her is because she's all the time bugging me to marry her. Jesus Christ, is that all that's ever on a woman's mind? Hell, I'd already been that route with Nettie. That's enough to do man for 2 lifetimes. Finally, Kathy talks me into going and seeing a psychiatrist. I just bawled and bawled. Turned out I was having post-traumatic stress disorder from all those times I'd been kidnapped, and just blocked it out of my mind. He said I was just too highly stressed to accept it. By God, that can break a fella up. There's nothing you can do about it when they start dogging you. I found out I had no control. Hell, I don't know whether they had me doped up or mesmerized or whatever the hell they were doing to me, but I couldn't move when they took me. Put me on these tables and stick things in me and crap. Gets old. Old Louis Reeves. I think people call him Bird Dog now. Hell, they even, whenever he runs for council, they even have Bird Dog up there. Louis Reeves' daddy, who was the first fellow to open up coin-operated laundromats in Springfield. Old Daddy Reeves. Hell, he was the cheapest thing. He owned that old motel downtown where his grandson got electrocuted. Yeah, my name's Louis Reeves. We're down here by OCHV. This is where I was hunting, and this is where them aliens took me. That spaceship, I started running down this trail here and coming down through here and just hovering right at the top of them trees there. They did, that old spaceship made that sound like a shoo, shoo, shoo. I hope they don't come back here now. I don't know what we'd do if they did. You know, because I ran, but they still caught me. But anyway, what was that? I just zoomed up on board that space. Next thing you know, I'm down there at my coin-operated laundromat. Own some property down there in the historical district that a lot of people want me to make kind of a attraction for tourists and such, and I think I'm going to do it. Been in the family for years. That one place down there, that old hotel, that's where my boy died. He's electrocuted. It's a shame and everything, and by golly, I miss him. And this is one of the places we come, and we used to come hunting down here. My wife had a nervous breakdown after that happened. I'm on board the spaceship, and next thing I know, I'm downtown Springfield in that coin-operated laundromat, which I made into kind of a historical place and do all my campaigning down there for city council. And there's a big old tub of laundry down there full of ladies' lingerie. I thought, oh lordy. Next thing you know, I'm back on board that spaceship with that ladies' lingerie and them aliens, and they spoke American. They said, put on that bra and panties and slip and stuff. I done it. What was that? They told me to start dancing and jiggling, and I guess they liked what I was doing. They'll just kind of stand around and watch me, just dancing and jiggling. They put electrodes over my head, and they started jolting me with electricity, and I just started popping across that floor. And I mean, I was popping. I mean, that went on for a little bit, and then I'm back on. I've got a nice place out in South Springfield. They had me on my back deck, and I just laying there. My wife, Velma, she comes outside, and she goes, what in the world are you doing out here in the bra and slip and panties? And just laying here on this deck. And I told her about them aliens and such, and She said, well, I thought you was up at Osage Beach. She goes, what did you do? Did you start a drinking again? Because she knows I used to drink and had to go to the hospital for that. And I told her no. I said, I ain't drank in years. You know that. She said, well, you get on inside here. She goes, what are the neighbors going to think? She goes, they're going to think you've lost your mind again, like back in 1970 when you ran outside naked and went up and down the street saying, the British are coming, the British are coming. So we had a big old fight, and she got one of her headaches. Sometimes her head gets to hurting her so bad her eyes will cross. Hear that train? Something else, too. Not just a train out here. There's something coming. Look up in there. I don't know. Maybe we ought to cut this interview off or something. I think we ought to be stopping.
Dad, I'm a nun.
You're a lot of nothing is what you are.
My name was Lisa Gare, and I wasn't abducted by aliens or anything. I was just, I wasn't abducted by aliens like my mom and dad, but I did see one. Well, my mom gave me this makeover for the show, because she wanted me to be pretty and look like family. It happened about 2 months ago, and I was working out really hard because I want to get really, really big and strong. I mean, like, really big and strong. See, I'm getting bigger already. Anyway, there's a lot of reasons why I want to do it, because I want to be the Miss Missouri bodybuilding champion, and because I want to get really, really strong. And I really have 3 really reasons for doing this. Number 1 is because my mom wants me to. And number B is because I want to get really, really strong so I can beat up that guy BJ. That's a super duper sad story, and I'll tell you that in a minute. It's really, really sad. Anyway, so that's one reason. And reason number 3 is because, well, my mom wants, I need to get my teeth fixed. See, they're kind of bad. But anyway, I just broke up with my boyfriend because the other night I was sitting there and I don't remember what I did to him. I like threw his remote control, or I hid his remote control from him, and he got really, really mad at me. And he threw a loaf of bread and it hit me in the head and it knocked me down. And then he spit his chewing tobacco all over my brand new workout outfit. It was ruined. Absolutely ruined. Ruined it. But anyway, so I might get with this really cute alien because he's really, really cute, you know? Or I might get with the Eric guy, Eric and Lyle Menudez, well, whatever the name is. I've been writing to him like every day, 2 letters a day. And I can't wait, because if I become the Miss Missouri bodybuilding champion, they're going to want me. Anyway, so I'm going to be strong. And so I'm working out, and this guy, he was like to his back was like to me, and he bent over and he was picking up this dumb bar. Wait. I don't know, they're like this long, and they have these big round things on the end, you know? He was picking one up, and he was really, really cute. So I was kind of flexing a little bit, you know? And I said, I think I'm going to whistle at him. And I went, woo, woo, you know? I whistled at him, and he turned around, and I was like, wow, he's super cute. So, but then I got really scared. So I was like, oh my God, he's an alien, you know? So I got really, really scared, and I ran all the way home, and I was like, oh my God, I think I called my mom, and I said, oh my God, Mom, I just saw an alien. And she said, oh, no, you were just imaging things, and no, and she was yelling at me and stuff, and it really hurt my feelings, because I really did see an alien. But, anyway, she yelled at me, she said, you need to get your teeth fixed, and I know, but I think I'm going to go back to the gym and get me an alien. I love them. They're so cute.
Hello, my name is Pinky. I will not give my last name because I don't believe in that. And plus the fact, I've disowned part of my family for their lifestyles and they just have such close minds. Although I do talk to my sisters and my mother. I love them dearly. And this back here, that is my best friend, Marilyn. She doesn't believe in last names either. because she's had terrible tragedies with ex-husbands and the law. And this is my very dear friend too. These are both of my best friends. And this is Carrie Grant, Carrie with a K, K-E-R-I. She's a psychic, an alien artist, and a supermodel. And I know you can see that it looks rather festive around here. I've got it decorated for Christmas. But actually, I've refused to give up my dreams of Christmas this year. And Marilyn back here, she's studying to be a beautician, cosmetologist. And that's why I'm wearing the scarf. We tried a new permanent and I lost most of my hair. But that's okay. She's learning. She's doing great. Well, you didn't need that curl anyway. What it was Chester was supposed to meet me at the bar. We'd been having fights for months. She said that since he was a Scorpio and I was an Aquarian, that we should have been long separated. Because when we loved, it would be strong, but when we fought, it would be just terrible. I have a strong bond with Chester still. Sometimes at night I wake up and I don't know. There's just something about Chester. Oh dear, I hear you clicking away at something back there, Marilyn. Be careful. Anyway, so Halloween night, and I'm having this huge fight on the dance floor, and Marielle egging it on. Chester and I don't know. Anyway, we ended up in the car. I guess I must have passed out or fallen asleep. All of a sudden, we're on board this spaceship, and there's this big control panel, and there's this table, and there's all these little plates on it, and they're not like bows or plates. They're kind of in between, and they have these double-headed spoons. They're not like forks and they're not like spoons. And then there was these plates, and they were filled to the rim with what looked like pork and beans. And I ate them, and they were delicious. And usually I hate beans, but I like these. But these were cold. Maybe that's why I usually don't like pork and beans, because they're heated. Anyway, but I like these. And all of a sudden, I was eating those pork and beans, and I could swear, and I don't know if it was the perca dance or just my stress or whatever, but I could swear I heard Peggy Lee music. And I love Peggy Lee. Fever, don't you love Peggy? I hear this little clicking sound, and it sounded like high heels clicking across the linoleum. So I look up, I saw Chester over there by the control panels, and I thought, oh dear, he's tripping, so we might go to galaxies unknown if he gets a hold of this spacecraft. All of a sudden, these little alien creatures start skittering into the room. They didn't have high heels on because I looked, but they had these little cloven feet, and they had these claws, like these double claws, and they were just darling, and they looked Latin. And you know me and Latins, I was just in love immediately. And then they started speaking in these high-pitched voices, and they didn't speak English. But it was in some gobbledygook language that I tried to understand. I tried to emulate it, and they tried to emulate English, but they were just darling. But they did have lovely singing voices. By the end of our little tour of the cosmos, I had them singing choruses of "It's Raining Men." Oh, and it was gorgeous. I wish I had a recording of that. It was just, it brought chills. I had tears in my eyes when I heard him sing. We're driving through the galaxies and everything, and I guess I was gone about 3 weeks. Oh, there goes Chester's head. I guess we were gone about 3 weeks. I was back for Thanksgiving, wasn't I?
Part of the day.
I wasn't gone a full month. And so there we are on board space. Finally, I just told him, I said, fellas, I've had a great time, but I've got to get home. I looked at Chester, and I knew right off that there was a lovely little Latino named Corky, an alien named Corky, and they were short and dark and just gorgeous. I knew right off when we got on the spaceship and their eyes locked that my little love boat cruise with Chester was over. We were going to pull our boat in for dry dock. And even though I lost my lover to Chester, to an alien named Corky, and he's traveling to galaxies unknown, I'm just going to try to put a positive spin on all of this. That's about all I can do. I will survive, as the song says. I had gotten off late at the ladies' auxiliary. I was going to be late. I thought I'd better stop somewhere and get something to cook, because I didn't have a thing in the house. It's almost as bad as it is now. I haven't been out of my own home for 2 solid weeks. I was going to stop for some Vienna sausages and some corn chips, because I make this little casserole Jerry Sr., Jerry Jr., and Jean Ann just rave about.
I stopped at the convenience store near our home to pick up those items for the casserole. I have a lovely friend that works there, and his name is Ramon. Ramon Flores. Isn't that a lovely name? Jerry just pitches a fit every time I go in there because he says the prices are so high. But it's a convenience store because it is convenient. The minute I pulled in, I just had a terrible feeling that something was awfully wrong. I walked into the store and it was just deadly silent.
Picked out all of my items and went and placed them on the counter, and like I said, I just had the most terrible premonition that something was wrong. Because I didn't see him anywhere, and I'd seen his car, knew he was there. I decided I might check in the back. I went towards the back. I heard some shuffling around, and I saw this. Well, this is the part that's really frightening. I saw this creature. I can hardly explain it. It's like it was almost a dream. It moved slowly and almost mechanically, and it had these huge dark eyes, and it had on this cape, and it seemed to be pilfering around, and like it was looking for something or someone, and I just couldn't move. My feet were like lead. This is the part that it's really got me very upset. I'm very guilty. I turned around and I ran, and I sped out of the parking lot because I was so frightened. I rushed home, and I had another tragedy waiting because luckily Jerry Jr. and Jean Ann, it didn't matter whether I even stopped for dinner because Jerry Sr. had taken them to get a large thin crust pizza. I didn't know it. I just wish that whole night hadn't occurred because I walked in and there I saw my husband Jerry Sr. and my best friend, the choir director from our church, Vanessa Bell, on our sofa in a compromising position. Vanessa did leave, and I woke up with a cold rag over my head, and Jerry Senior, I have to admit, he was very solicitous, and he wanted us to get everything out in the open, but I tell you what, I haven't felt like talking about it. I didn't tell him about what had happened at the convenience store to Ramon either. I just knew he'd make something ugly out of it. The next day, I drugged myself out of bed. The only place I've been to, and I've been every single day, I've driven the 2 blocks down to that convenience store, and Ramon's car's not there. I know I should go in and I should ask the people there what's about his well-being, but how do I put it? Do I mention that I saw a creature lurking about? I mean, that just sounds crazy. I know it sounds silly, but I'd come to think of Ramon as a friend. One time I went in there, and one of the owners was in there. I saw Ramon talking to him, and I was afraid Ramon would get in trouble if I just came in and said hello. So the first thing that popped out of my mind was I walked up to the counter and I bought myself a pack of cigarettes. I just said Marlboros. No, I must have remembered that from an ad. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. And the next night we just laughed and laughed. But that was the cutest story. I really miss him. I really do. Ramon is my friend. I'm not ashamed to say that. I think about Ramon and the things that Jerry said about, he always insisted that Ramon was involved with gangs. I won't let my mind think that. And I think, well, you know, sometimes people, you can get involved with the wrong crowd, and not because you're a bad person. Everybody needs a friend. I don't know whether he was taken by aliens, and I know that sounds crazy, or if hoodlums from Kansas City and some gang members took him. I keep thinking, maybe I know something I don't know that I know.
On some moon, you're the lady who...
You may know me as Grant Dakota, Cody Long. I'm famous. I perform at the Lonesome Moon Cafe, Lonesome Moon Theater in Branson, Missouri. No matter what anybody tells you, I love it. The Branson audiences are greatest in the world. I love it down here. The people are wonderful. It's not like any other place on the planet. 1955, #1 hit, Lonesome Moon. And I am big teen idol.
And it was Dodge City and Daughter of the Rio Grande, both top 5. I was a teen idol. Some people say that I was almost as popular as Elvis. Some say more. But you can't let something like that go to your head.
For 5 years, I'm at the top of the charts, thanks to C.K. Berman, my manager, a legendary rock promoter. 15 years old, I go to New York City, and I just had the desire to make it, to be somebody. I walk into his office, I had a little suitcase with songs in it. Kind of makes me nostalgic. Brings back memories. They make the Cody Long movies. I was a naive rancher's son with lots of integrity and a rifle. I was the good guy. The drugs and psychedelic stuff comes, and pop music, and I am no longer popular. I am a hokey has-been. So I go to Las Vegas. I'm very popular, and I am Mr. Entertainment. They come to see me. Frankie comes to see me and comes backstage and he's got tears in his eyes. Frank Sinatra. But when I'm on stage, I think they're sucking the life out of me. And I just feel like I'm getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I'm just a little bitty, tiny thing. If I could pop it, snort it, shoot it, I did it. It made me feel big. Bailey's and Valium at breakfast just went downhill from there. Just downhill. My mom ran off when I was about 12 or 13. She was the headless centerfold for the circus. She married a carnival guy, the guy that ran the Ferris wheel. The same Ferris wheel I used to throw up on. I think she's living in Sedona, Arizona. Sedona, Arizona. After 5 years of shock therapy and Prozac, she's happy. Thank God for Prozac, okay? I was nothing except when I was on dope. There's 5 years of my life I don't even remember. But they said I was the greatest entertainer on stage that ever lived. And I don't even remember it. That's too bad. One day, I'm driving to the Acropolis. I'm driving to the casino. I'm going to perform my evening show. And I head out to the desert, man. I ditched the car. I had a Rolls Royce that I sold for $5,000. Brand new. It's 1970, 71, I don't know. It's in the 70s. Early 70s. I go and buy myself a trailer. A little bitty trailer, because I was just a little bitty guy. And I go to the desert. One night I wake up and the trailer lights up like a candle. I think that maybe they're just testing some of those bombs out in the desert, those atomic bombs. And I sleep. And I have dreams about when I was little. Back when I was Dwight Herndon and I was a little boy. And I was living with my grandma and my mom. I used to have to come home from school. And I had to watch her to keep her from slicing her wrists or putting her head in the oven. I have these dreams about being a little boy. I'm the nobody in the desert. I'm not Dwight Herndon. I'm not Grant Dakota. I'm not Cody Long. I'm a nobody. The trailer keeps lighting up night after night, and I keep having these dreams. The little compartment opens up. This little man walks out, and he's like an alien. He walks up to me. I stare at him, because this is the good part, okay? Hey, you're an alien. He takes this bony finger. It's really long. Puts it right there and in between on my forehead. And he says, you have a lot to learn. Okay. Then he yodels. I sing Lonesome Moon, and I yodel. I never yodeled in my life. The crowd loves it. I am now the yodeling cowboy. And I perform again. But Vegas wasn't the same for me. When Mafia had it, it used to be run with a little finesse. It had style. Now it's just a bunch of big corporations. It's like a Disneyland. So my daughter gets out of rehab. She says, Dad, go to Branson, Missouri. I say, where's Branson, Missouri? She says, I'll take you. We go to Branson. I'm a huge success. And I love it. I love it in Branson. Me and my daughter, we open up a theater down in Branson. The Lonesome Moon Theater. And it doesn't matter if I'm Dwight Herndon or Grant Dakota or Cody Long. I'm just me, the yodeling cowboy. I'm a part of Americana. I went to the desert. Out of all the people in the universe, an alien chose me. And he yodeled. It's just some weird, unfathomable design, man. Okay?
I'm Maxine Rosenblum. Say hello, Irene.
Hello.
We're sitting here, we're playing a little bit of rummy. We've got our husbands out of the house with their girlfriends, whom they think they're keeping us a big secret from us but who cares?
You know better.
Irene thinks I'm crazy for telling this story.
Just
but,
crazy.
Yeah, but you know me, darling. I'm a truth teller.
Yeah.
So, I've got to tell the truth. I'm here to talk about aliens. I wish Max was here, but he refused to be interviewed on camera.
That's too bad.
You know, last week when he said he was going to go to the X-Lots to play bridge.
Yeah.
Did you hear at the beauty shop what Judy told us? She said that she was at the Hideaway, and he was there with that Cheryl girl. That one with the bad haircut.
Typical man.
They were having drinks. Said he was playing bridge. Like I would care. Please. I'd gladly pay the bitch myself to keep him out of my hair for a couple of nights a week. I wanted Irene here because she is my very dearest friend in the world. You're the only one who stood beside me through my mood swings and my hysterectomy. You are the only one.
I remember.
Not even including my husband, Max. Asked my daughter to be here, but of course, she won't come. Irene is more of a mother to my daughter than I am. At least that's the way she puts it. Although I have been there financially for my daughter. She says I was not there emotionally. Irene, you know I tried. She was always more bonded with Max. And sometimes I think they were a little too close. Hasn't produced one thing since 1987 except my new grandbaby. Any man can do that. I think sometimes that's all a man is good for, is sperm donation. Well, it's true. Pardon my French.
You're just wicked.
Don't get me wrong. I love my husband, Max. But after so many years. Please. Now's the alien story. Okay, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Here we are. Max and I driving back from Branson. He's taking me to that restaurant down there that's like Australia. What's it called, darling?
Outback?
The Outback. That's it. I love that place. It's cute, but I won't eat anything. He eats that exotic stuff that makes me sick. All I got was a burger and fries. I think he had crocodile. Oh, I was sick for weeks afterwards. And it repeated on him. And of course, who had to clean it up? Me. It's a beautiful day. We've actually had a good time for once. Max is shattered.
See the shows?
Oh, of course. I went to that Lonesome Moon Theater and saw that Grant Dakota. He yodels up a storm. He's wonderful. He is one of the few men that can still get my engine started, if you know what I mean. He's so handsome. Rumor has it, though, that he drinks a little bit. But with talent like that, who cares? You know, he's an artist. Oh, a man's ego's all rooted in between his pants. That's the, please, listen, they always say a way to a man's heart's through his stomach. Yeah, it's below the stomach, please. And since we're going to be down in Branson with the new store, I'm trying to get thick as thieves with some of those people. The Osmonds, Wayne Newton, he is truly a gentleman. He is so kind-hearted. So, Max and I driving along the Lincoln Town car, and Max is chattering away. And you know as well as I do, he's usually just about as mum as they come. But he's chattering away like a little squirrel. And I'm thinking, what in the world's gotten into him? I hear this noise. It's like a whirring sound. I think, well, suddenly it's become cloudy, but then I notice that there's this spaceship hovering above us. I told you what my first thought was. Felt like one of those nuts that you see on television. And I thought, where's your Nikon camera when you need it? There we are on board the spaceship. And Max is suddenly back to his old silent self. You know, these little alien fellows come in. They come skittering into the room. And you know what they remind me of? The fellow who does my electrolysis, Dr. Combs. His wife, Darlene, she's a doll. She really is sweethearted. She goes to Florida every winter, comes back, and every single day she goes to those tanning beds. And I still say they are a major cause of cancer. She is just brown as a bean. And she's either anorexic or bulimic. I can't remember whether she doesn't eat at all or whether she just eats everything and makes herself vomit. She's one or the other, or maybe both. She is just like brown leather over bones. And that's what these aliens were. They were brown leather over bones. These poor little animals were so frightened that they defecated all over. There I am, trying not to breathe in this alien dust, which, you know, God knows what it would do to my sinuses, and that animal dung. I was sick. These aliens start communicating with each other in these high-pitched tones, and before you know it, our clothes are taken from us. I mean, they just disappear. Max is naked, I'm naked. I don't even like to let my own husband see me naked, let alone aliens from God knows where see me naked. I don't know them from Adam. As quickly as it all started, we were back inside our Lincoln Town car, but we were still as naked as the truth. Besides the emotional distress of being abducted by an alien society, Max is out a $500 Lane Brothers suit. I am out a $350 silk Donna Karan dress. Oh. And that was, you remember that dress. I loved that dress. Not to mention the accessories and the jewelry. Luckily, I didn't have much on. Max had on a Rolex watch. What am I supposed to do? I am so upset still, 3 months later. What can I do? I would like to sue, but how do you sue an alien? Oh dear, look, I've got rummy.
I had an alien experience with the aliens from another planet. I worked over at Taylor's Drive-In. I'm working the back, I'm a cook. One night I was down there under the bridge sleeping, and I seen all these this big old light, and it kind of scared me, but I kind of liked it too. It was scary, and I thought the police was there to clear us all out. Used to be, we stayed at the Missouri Hotel over on Commercial Street, but I forget his name, but he's on city council. He owned it, and he's going to sell it because they're going to make a historical attraction. And they use the excuse that we was all dope addicts and on dope, and that we was all alcoholic. A lot of them I know, and they don't even drink. I know I never drink. I don't like the taste of it. I like Hawaiian Punch, and I like cherry colas. That's all I ever drink. All of a sudden I was aboard a spaceship, and there was all these tiny people around, and you could tell the difference between the ladies and the gentlemen. There's one lady came up to me, and she stuck this ball in the back of my head, and oh, it really hurt. And then she stuck a ball, a little China ball, she stuck it in my bra, really hurt. They was nice to me and everything, and they'd put their hands on wherever it hurt if you started acting like it was hurting, and then they put this goop on you, and it made the pain go away. I mean, I was scared and everything, and it hurt, but it didn't hurt very long. It was just tawna, like it was part human and part alien. And I knew that that was my baby, and it made me really sad because it died, and they stuck stuff in it and tried to make it breathe and stuff, and it never did come to life. And that lady just put her hand on my shoulder, and I cried, that little alien lady, and then I was back down on Earth. I hadn't talked to Mama and Daddy in a long time. It's been about a year. I'll go over on weekends sometimes and work on the computers. I'm really stupid in a lot of things, but I just know computers. They've come easy to me. My mama's a lawyer, and Daddy, he's a CPA. They don't like blacks, no Jews, no homos, no Japanese. And they just say that's not Christ's way. They're white separatists. It depresses me to go over there, so I just go over there when I know they're not home and work on the computer, because I believed in all that, and you wouldn't believe the hate that's on those computers. And I just would, send out literature through them internet. I felt like I had friends on there, but they really wasn't my friends. When Mom and Daddy came home, told them about the alien thing, and they said I was crazy, and they was always disappointed in me, and why couldn't I live up to my potential? Because I tested real high in some areas. And my mom started crying, and Daddy got mad and made me leave. I was really upset, and I started crying, and I went out to the Walmart Supercenter. I was riding the bus out there from downtown, from down here. The bus was full, and there was a black lady sitting next to me. That's the only chair available. And I thought and thought, when I looked on the bus, and I just thought, I'm not going to sit next to her, because I really hated her. But then I went ahead and sat down, and I just made it known that I didn't like it. She just started talking to me. I guess I was so upset I started talking back, and then all of a sudden I was crying. I told her everything. I told her I was abducted by aliens, and finally she said, well, there's, a lot of things in life that happen that you can't explain. Quiet and quiet and quiet and quiet and quiet. She just made me feel better. And I kept thinking to myself, I should hate your guts. But I didn't. I liked her, and I thought she was pretty. And she smelled like cinnamon, and I just liked her. And she was the nicest person I've met in a long time. At that moment, I just couldn't hate nobody. And I thought about that little baby I had that died, and it wasn't really human or white, or it wasn't all white, but it was part of me. It made me sad. Just decided I wasn't gonna hate nothing or nobody, because it makes me just tired. Went back over to Mama's and Daddy's, and I was going to try to talk to him, and I told him, I said, I don't hate nobody no more. I don't hate the Jews, I don't hate the blacks, or the homos, or the Japanese. I just don't hate nobody. They stood there for a second or two, and she started cussing, and Mama never cussed. She goes, I don't know what went wrong. She goes, they must have mixed you up at the hospital. And she goes, if I had the guts, I'd take a pistol to your head, and I would blow your brains out. She goes, but you ain't got anything in there, so I'd just be wasting the bullet. And Daddy just stood there, and he was getting ready to go on one of those Christian white separatist retreats, and he just said, when I come home from this, he goes, I never want to see your face again. And so I walked out, and I've been kind of sad about it. That's okay. They never did lie to me much anyway. I just thought about that, what she told me, that I was just slow-witted and everything, and I just thought, I may be slow, but so was the turtle, and he won the race.
Tell him your name.
Lawrence. Told I didn't want to do this bullshit.
Well, I don't care. They're giving us $5 apiece. We need the money.
Sure do.
You won't let me have it.
That's 'cause you just run down there and spend it at the
liquor store. Well, we was abducted by aliens, and well, I don't know the whole story, and it about drove me crazy. And I hate you. Quit it. You're about ready to drive me to my grave. And once I go, the government checks stop. You're not disabled. You're just an old drunk.
Good for nothing.
You're just like her husband, my boy. You just a bunch of drunks. You about ruined my life. I started telling that story, and people down at the Social Security office threatened to cut me off, down to social services, and said they's gonna take my granddaughter away from me, and I'm the only one that's raising her. Said I was crazy. Well, I'll tell you this much, by golly. I may not have done a great job, but I've kept her in clothing and I've kept her fed, and I kept a roof over her head. And that's more than I can say for anybody else in this family. Hell, I've got you, my son, our other daughter-in-law, Becky. She's a living there, and her two young'uns, Lawrence and he's got an old cousin, Charlie Ruddles, that just wanders in and out of our hotel room. Now we're all homeless. And I guess I'm going to be the one to have to figure out where we're going to sleep at. We was abducted by aliens. We was up at the Coley's restaurant, and I was eating me some fries, and I had me some chili.
Milkshake?
Oh, and he's eating a pork tenderloin sandwich. Wins was sitting there, and all of a sudden this restaurant just started spinning like a top. And I looked over at him, and he looked over at me, and of course he's looking at that. Get out of that trash can. Oh, man. You're about ready to walk your last walk and talk your last talk. If you don't sit down and stay down, I'm gonna knock every bone out of your body and crack it with my teeth. I've about had it. Now stay there, put this liquor, throw it away, throw it away, throw it away. Get it out of my sight. I'm homeless, I'm poor, and I'm mad. Don't push me. And then he started pawing me like I was some kind of piece of meat. I didn't like it. He smelled like soured apple. Person can't work for a living and support themselves, and it's getting crazy, and I'm a-getting mad. And I'll tell you what, I just may do something about it. And if I have to get me some alien friends or go to another planet to do it, I just may do it. And when I do, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna bust me some ass. I'm gonna tear this place apart. Do you understand me? Do you understand me?
On a dark and starlit night, I look up in the clouds, see the flashing lights, the overpowering lights, go up into the heavens. Up into the heavens, oh yeah. Talk like an alien, walk like an alien, sing like an alien, love like an alien. I was alienated. I was alienated. I was alienated. Oh yes, I was alienated. distant alien lullaby, and walk like an alien, talk like an alien, scope, 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 scheme. Dance like an alien. Love like an alien. Live like an alien. On a magic star, way up in the heavens, so very far away, way up in the heavens. Don't be frightened, you're just being alienated. Alienated.